Today's lesson is dressing for hot weather. Hi, everybody. My name is Roger.
Hello, and I'm Kiki.
And we are right in the middle of the month of July. And as you know, it's getting hotter and hotter outside. And therefore, we need to dress for hot weather. We don't want to wear too many clothes, otherwise we're going to sweat like a pig. And it seems that you're dressed fairly coolly today, Kiki.
Yes, I am. I'm wearing shorts, and I would like to wear some flip-flops during the summer.
That might be a little bit too informal if you're going to a job or something like that. But I guess if you're going shopping with your friends or going to the beach or something, flip-flops are okay, but that's not proper office attire. But we are going to be talking about dressing for hot weather. We've got a conversation between Dave and Stacy, and they're discussing Taiwan's hot summer weather and how to dress for it. So let's get to it, everybody. Let's listen to part 1, Clothes for Keeping Cool.
Dressing for hot weather. Clothes for keeping cool. Dave and Stacy discuss Taiwan's hot summer weather.
Hey, Stacy, have you been outside today? The heat is killing me.
Yeah, it's definitely hot out there. But I noticed you're wearing a lot of dark colors. That can make you feel even hotter.
No kidding? I had no idea. I just wear what I like.
Yeah, darker colors absorb more heat from the sun. It's better to wear lighter colors like white or pastels. They reflect more heat and keep you cooler.
That makes sense. Any other tips?
You can also try wearing clothes made from breathable materials like cotton or linen. They let air circulate and help you sweat less. And don't forget to drink lots of water, especially if you're working or exercising outside.
Thanks. I'll keep all that in mind, and I'll definitely try some lighter colors to stay comfortable in this heat.
大家好，第一部分我们来介绍名词 pastel， 它的意思是清淡柔和的色彩。例如 Those parents are inclined to paint their baby's room in pastel colors. 那对父母倾向于把婴儿的房间漆成柔和的颜色。又或者说 Your skin tone fits pastel the most. 你的肤色最适合搭配清淡柔和的色彩。再来我们看到动词 reflect， 它的意思是反射光、热或是声音等等，也可以是反应。例如 The mirror reflected the light of the candle and made the room brighter. 这面镜子反射了蜡烛的亮光，而让房间更明亮。又或者说 The store window reflected the image of people walking in the street. 商店的橱窗倒映出街上行人的画面。接下来我们看到形容词 breathable， 这个字的意思是衣服或是布料是透气的。例如 I usually go jogging with breathable clothes on. 我通常会穿透气的衣服去慢跑。下一个我们看到单字 linen， 它是名词，指的是亚麻布或是亚麻织品。例如 Melanie bought new table linens for the lunch party. Melanie 为午餐派对买了新亚麻桌布。又或者说 Please put the white linen cloth on the table before you put the plates out. 在你把盘子拿出来前，请先把白色亚麻布铺在桌子上。再来我们看到动词 circulate， 它的意思是使流通或是使循环。例如 The smells from us cooking dinner circulated throughout the house. 我们煮晚餐的香气在整间房子里传开来。又或者说 He turned on the fan to circulate the air in the room. 他把风扇打开以流通房间内的空气。
Okay, so again, we're talking about part 1 of our dialogue for today, and the title of part 1 is Clothes for Keeping Cool. In other words, things that you wear that will help you keep cool.
Right. And usually during the summertime, you really want to stay cool. If you wear clothes that make you feel too warm, you're going to feel uncomfortable, you're going to feel sweaty. So Dave and Stacy, they talk about how Taiwan's hot summer weather is. So they're going to talk about how do they dress for the summer.
Exactly. Okay, they're discussing this, and Dave says, Hey, Stacy, have you been outside today? The heat is killing me. So evidently Dave has noticed the weather outside is quite hot. And he's asking Stacy if she has been outside and the heat is killing him. It's really, really hot for him. He can't take it. And Stacy says, yeah, it's definitely hot out there for sure. It is a very hot day outside, but I noticed you're wearing a lot of dark colors that can make you feel even hotter. So if you're wearing dark colors, that would be like dark blue or black, colors like that.
So Dave replies to Stacy, no kidding. I had no idea. I just wear what I like. So Dave says no kidding to Stacy because he's really trying to ask Stacy, are you serious about this? Are you telling me the truth that if I wear dark colors during the summertime, it's going to make me feel even hotter? And he says that he really didn't know that wearing dark colors would make him feel warmer than if he wore light colors or light blue or bright colors. And he just likes to wear what he feels like or what he likes.
Exactly. I just wear what I like to wear. And Stacy says, yeah, darker colors absorb more heat from the sun. This is a basic concept from science. You were probably taught this in your science class many years ago, that dark colors absorb heat and light colors reflect that heat. And in this case, if you're wearing darker colors, they absorb more heat or they take in more heat from the sun. And she goes on to say it's better to wear lighter colors like white or pastels. Now, what exactly is a pastel color?
Well, pastel colors are usually the lighter shade of colors. So if you have, let's say, blue, you can have a dark blue or you can have a light blue. But usually pastel colors, they're not as bright as if you had a bright neon blue. Pastel colors usually are softer and they feel more comfortable. And actually nowadays, pastel colors are really popular amongst young people.
Absolutely. They look good, they're attractive, and of course they're cool in hot weather. To me, a pastel color is just your base color mixed with a lot of white. So it's a lot lighter, like pink or pastel blue, pastel green, etc. And this is what she's suggesting he wear, white clothing or pastel clothing. And she says they reflect more heat and keep you cooler. So here we've got the word reflect, which means light bounces off something. When you look in the mirror, for example, light is bouncing off the mirror and then you can see your reflection.
So when it's reflecting more heat, that means there's less heat on your body and it reflects it. So you feel like you're not as hot. And Dave says, that makes sense. Any other tips? So he thinks what Stacy just told him makes a lot of sense to him. So he wants to know if she has any other suggestions for him.
And Stacy does have some suggestions here. She says you can also try wearing clothes made from breathable materials like cotton or linen. Now, if something's breathable, at least in terms of clothing, that means air can go in and out rather freely. It doesn't get stuck inside or on the outside. And she's saying that cotton or linen are breathable fabrics or breathable materials. And linen, of course, is a fabric or a material made from flax, I believe.
Stacy goes on to say, they let air circulate and help you sweat less. And don't forget to drink lots of water, especially if you're working or exercising outside. So we talked about breathable materials that you could wear. And the reason why we want breathable materials is so that the air can circulate through our clothing and into our body and back out. So circulate is basically to allow this flow of air or this flow of something to come in and out. So not only does Stacy remind Dave to wear breathable clothing, she also tells him, hey, don't forget to drink a lot of water, especially when you're working or exercising outside. So a lot of times people, when they're exercising or playing outside and even working, they tend to forget to stay hydrated. They forget to drink water. And this is extra important when it's in the summer and when it's warm because you do sweat a lot. And while you sweat, you have to replenish your water.
Right, so if you're working outdoors, of course, you are going to sweat a lot, as Kiki just said. So you need to replenish that water by drinking lots of water. And, of course, lots of people choose to exercise outdoors, like they go jogging and things like that. And, of course, when you do that, you're going to sweat up a storm. So you need to replace all that missing sweat with lots of hydration or with lots of water. Now, Dave is very grateful for Stacy's advice. He says, thanks thanks. I'll keep all that in mind, and I'll definitely try some lighter colors to stay comfortable in this heat. So he never thought of that before. Remember, he likes to wear dark clothing, black shirts, and things like that. And Stacy told him that lighter clothing will reflect the light more. And it will reflect the heat. And, of course, dark colors absorb the heat. So he's going to take her advice to heart. And he's going to try some lighter colors. Who knows? He might look very fashionable that way and get lots of attention from other people. Okay, that brings us to the end of part 1 in today's lesson. Let's move on now to part 2. The title is To Shop or Not to Shop. Let's listen to Dave and Stacy's conversation right now.
To shop or not to shop? Dave and Stacy converse about whether he really needs new clothes.
So, do you want to go shopping with me this weekend? I think I'll need some new clothes for the summer.
Hold your horses there. Have you checked your wardrobe first? You might already have clothes that are fine for the summer heat.
But I feel like all the outfits I've got are well past their prime. I want something new and fresh.
I get it, but shelling out for new clothes can be expensive. Maybe you can save some money by looking through your closet first. You might find some completely adequate clothes that you forgot you had.
I see your point, so I guess I'll take your word for it. After all, it couldn't hurt to check, and maybe I can make do with what I've already got.
Yeah, and if not, at least you'd have a better idea of what you really need if you do decide to get something new.
Right. Better to know what I have before I buy anything else. Thanks for the advice.
第二部分我们看到单字 converse， 它是动词，指的是与点点点交谈，或是和点点点说话。例如 I'll converse with you tomorrow about my idea. 我明天会跟你谈谈我的想法。或是 Your task is to converse with me in English for at least 15 minutes. 你的任务是用英语和我交谈至少15分钟。另外补充这个字的名词 conversation， C-O-N-V-E-R-S-A-T-I-O-N conversation， 它的意思是对话或是交谈。举例来说 We just had a conversation about you. 我们刚刚才在谈话中聊到你。再举一个例子 I don't want anyone to hear our conversation. 我不想任何人听到我们的对话。最后介绍形容词 adequate，它指的是合乎需要的、足够的。例如 Please check that we have adequate food supplies for the camping trip. 请确认我们的露营之旅有合乎需要的粮食。又或者说 You should leave yourself adequate time to complete this assignment. 你应该为自己保留足够的时间，好完成这份功课。
Okay, so that is the question. To shop or not to shop? Do you want to go to the store and buy some clothing? Or do you not want to shop for new clothing because you already have lots of shirts and trousers and underwear and socks and gloves and hats at home, and you're not wearing them? You might as well consider digging them out of the closet and wearing them and saving some money and being helpful for the environment as well.
Dave and Stacy converse about whether he really needs new clothes. Does he actually need to buy new clothes? Like Roger said, maybe Dave has a lot of clothes in his closet that he hasn't been wearing. Or maybe he thinks it's time to donate them and get something new. So converse is to be able to have a conversation with someone and discuss whether or not to do something. When two people converse, often they'll bring out pros and cons about a certain situation and talk about what's the best solution that could happen.
Exactly. Now, don't confuse this word with a type of shoes that are very popular, converse. This is converse as the verb. You could say, for example, the students were conversing about Converse shoes. But in this case, they're having a conversation about whether he really needs to buy some new clothes. And Dave says, so, do you want to go shopping with me this weekend? I think I'll need some new clothes for the summer. So remember in the last conversation, Stacy told him that wearing lighter colors can make you feel cooler in the summer. And if you wear clothing with breathable materials, it will also help you feel cooler. So he's wondering if he needs to go shopping, and he wants to know if Stacy would like to go with him.
Stacy says, "Whoa, hold your horses there. Have you checked your wardrobe first? You might already have clothes that are fine for the summer heat." So hold your horses is really telling someone to stay down and stay calm. Think about, what's going on. And usually when you hold your horses, it's really trying to show when horses are about to take off, you have to have control of your horses. So in this case, trying to have a hold of yourself, trying to control yourself before you do something impulsive.
And this there here is kind of confusing. She's not saying hold your horses right there as opposed to here. That just means, hey, you hold your horses. Hold on a minute. Just wait. Don't get impatient. And she goes on to ask him another question. Have you checked your wardrobe first? You might already have clothes that are fine for the summer heat. Now, your wardrobe could mean a couple of things, okay? First of all, it could be the piece of furniture in your room where you keep your clothing, and then it could also be the entire collection of the clothes that you have. Have you looked at all your clothes to determine what kinds of clothes you have? You might already have some clothes that are suitable for hot weather.
Dave tells Stacy, "But I feel like all the outfits I've got are well past their prime. I want something new and fresh." So he thinks that all his outfits or all his clothes are past their prime. So a lot of the clothes, maybe they're out of style, or some of the clothes are just too old. Maybe their colors have started to fade. So he thinks he needs to buy something new. So we see the word outfit here. And usually outfit is to describe something that you're wearing from head to toe, your whole outfit. It's not just one piece of clothing. It's what you're wearing for your shirt and what you're wearing for your pants. What you're wearing gets put together.
Exactly. You may buy outfits in the store that actually go together when you buy them, but of course you can mix and match clothing at home. You might choose a certain kind of shirt to wear with a certain kind of skirt or trousers or whatever, and that would be your own outfit. And yes, indeed, he says all the outfits are kind of outdated. They're old-fashioned. They're past their prime. So if something's past its prime, it's kind of old-fashioned. It's too old. And yes, indeed, he does not want to go out looking like his grandparents or something like that. He says, I want something new and fresh. I want something fashionable that will get people's attention.
And sometimes when we use the word prime, it can also be used to describe something when it's at their best performance or at their best ability.
Indeed. So, yes, he does not want to look old-fashioned. His outfits are past their prime. He wants something new and fashionable and fresh. And Stacy says, I get it. I understand what you're saying, but shelling out for new clothes can be expensive. Here we've got a slang term for buying something to shell out. I guess in the old days they used shells as a unit of exchange in a society, but in this particular case, it just means spending a lot of money. And she goes on to say, maybe you can save some money by looking through your closet first or looking in your wardrobe. You might find some completely adequate clothes that you forgot you had. If something's adequate, it is sufficient, it is enough. So, for example, if you go hiking, someone may ask you, hey, did you bring along some water? Did you bring an adequate supply of water? Because it will get hot out there, and if you run out of water, you might suffer some injury, and you might have to be rescued or something like that. So in this case, yes, he might have suitable or adequate clothes that he forgot he had, and maybe if he pulls them out of the wardrobe or the storage chest or whatever, he might be surprised at some clothes that he still has.
Yeah, maybe he forgot that he actually has pastel colors in his wardrobe.
Could be, indeed. Sometime in the past, he had some kind of weird idea and bought pastel colors and forgot all about them. Maybe he still got them.
Right. So Dave says, I see your point, so I guess I'll take your word for it. After all, it couldn't hurt to check, and maybe I can make do with what I've already got. So Dave understands what Stacy is saying. I see your point. When you say that you see somebody's point, you understand what they're telling you and you can accept it.
Right, and also here we've got the phrase to take one's word for something, and that just means you're just going to believe them. You're not going to ask any further questions. You're just going to take their word for it. Someone may say, oh, don't go to that restaurant. The food is really bad and the service is terrible. Well, I'll take your word for it. Let's go someplace else. And Dave goes on to say, after all, it couldn't hurt to check, and maybe I can make do with what I've already got. If you make do with something, you use it and you don't make any adjustments to it. It's sufficient, it's enough. And maybe it's not ideal, but still you just have to make do with what you have. And Stacy says, yeah. And if not, at least you'd have a better idea of what you really need if you do decide to get something new. So again, that's going back to her original suggestion of looking through his wardrobe to see if he's got some clothes that actually he might enjoy wearing.
And Stacy thinks that by looking at his wardrobe, he'll know what's actually inside, and then if he really needs to buy something, he can decide then. So Dave says, right, better to know what I have before I buy anything else. Thanks for the advice. So before he decides that he's going to buy something, he'll check and see if he really needs it or to know what he actually has in his closet. And he's really thankful that Stacy is giving him such good advice.
It is good advice, and I think we can all take that advice because we probably all have too many clothes at home that we can still wear, and we don't need to go out and buy more. Okay, that brings us to the end of our discussion for today. Let's listen now to Hanny.
各位同学大家好，我是 Hanny。 我们来看今天的文法重点。在课文第二部分的对话里， Dave 有问 Stacy 周末想不想跟他去购物，他可能会需要添购一些夏季的新衣服。那么 Stacy 接着说 Hold your horses there 等等。那么 Hold your horses 字面意思是拉住你的马，引申就是表达等等且慢，稍安勿躁。那这个用法就是要对方别急，慢慢来的意思。好，那我们这边就顺便来学几个跟马有关的有趣用语哦。第一个是 dark horse， 字面意思是黑马，同学们应该猜到意思。它其实就是用来描述在赛马或者是竞赛当中出乎意料的获胜者。那这个用语也可以用来指深藏不露的人。好，再来第二个补充的是 be on your high horse 或者是 get on your high horse， 在高大的马上。同学们可以想象一个人坐在马背上往下看，是不是会有一种傲视他人的感觉呢？那这个用语指的就是自以为是，自命不凡。那么相对的，如果要对方Climb off your high horse 或者是 get off your high horse， 从高大的马下来，引申的意思就是别一副高高在上的样子，不要这么自信满满，觉得自己都不会错。好，再来第三个补充的是 beat a dead horse， 字面意思是鞭打死马。那再怎么鞭打催他快跑也没有用嘛，所以这个用语引申的意思就是白费力气做徒劳无益的事情。好，那么第四个补充的是 eat a horse， 吃掉一匹马是不是很夸张呢？那这个惯用语就是用来形容非常饥饿的状态，所以当人家说I'm so hungry I could eat a horse， 我超饿的，快饿死了，饿到可以吃下一匹马了。好，那补充一下，如果是 eat like a horse， 则是指说食量很大的意思哦。再来第五个补充的是From the horse's mouth， 或者是 straight from the horse's mouth， 从马的嘴巴，或者是直接出自马嘴。那这个用语呢，是源自于在计算马的牙齿数量来得知马的年龄，进一步去认定它的价值。那么后来引申就是表达来自第一手消息资讯，或者是根据可靠消息来源。所以如果有人说I heard it straight from the horse's mouth， 就是表达这是我从可靠消息听来的，这是我从第一手消息听来的，这样。好，那么第六个补充的是 put the cart before the horse。Cart 就是推车或者是马牛等等他们所拉的那种运货车。那马车一般都是马在前面，然后拉着身后的推车来载货。那现在却把马车摆到马的前面了，这引申的意思就是颠倒顺序，不照次序做事而导致错误发生，也就相当于中文的本末倒置的意思。好，那以上是今天重点整理，我们回顾今天单字吧。
Reflect. The telescope's mirrors reflected and concentrated the light from the distant planet. Linen. The windows of the home are covered with linen curtains. Circulate. Fresh air circulates through the room, providing a refreshing breeze. Converse. Tammy always enjoys conversing with her grandfather about his childhood. Outfit. Lara's outfit consisted of a black dress and bright red heels. Adequate. As he continued his hike, Jerome regretted not eating an adequate breakfast.
Well, that brings us to the end of another edition of our program, and please make sure you join us again next time. From all of us here, I am Roger.
I am Kiki.
See you next time.